Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. I am one of your hosts, Memo, and right beside me, I've got Hoops. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Overall, I've been doing good. I will say, I think just trying to get through in life, regular routine, work life, all that. But yeah, just getting through. Overall, same old. How have you been, man?
Right now it's been a really good day, honestly. First, like I don't think this is a secret, but I do work in education. I think I've mentioned that before. So next week is
Yeah.
spring break. That's awesome. I'm not getting paid, which sucks, but having a week long break is nice. So I'll take it. I got complimented on how well I did at work today too, so that's also good. But what really made my day was finally getting my test result for a test I retook recently in order to get into this program I want to get into, and I passed it. So that was the final test I needed to pass. And I literally
Hey,
found.
congrats.
Thank you, thank you. I literally found out less than an hour ago. For some reason, they like tease you. They sent me an email at 6 a.m. this morning telling me that they're gonna send my results at 10 p.m. So, like the whole day, I was thinking about whether or not I passed the test, and I felt good after taking the test. So I had a feeling I was gonna pass, but like it's just a huge relief off my chest now that I passed it. And things are looking good. I got my interview on Tuesday for the program, so things are looking up, and I'm very, very happy about it.
Yes, sir. Um, Huge congrats to Memo for making strides.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But enough talk about me. We got I was gonna say other losers. That is embarrassing. Other winners besides myself,
Oh
because
man.
we got an entire award show for you all today. We came up with 15 awards. I don't know if any of you guys saw last year's uh award show where we introduced 15 awards. Some of them that you're kind of like familiar with, like Duck of the Year or like Player of the Year, stuff like that. And then others that we kind of had fun with. We made up some categories that uh, some are negative, some are positive, some are on the funnier side. So it should be a fun time. It was fun doing this last year. We incorporate clips as well, which we like never do, but we're gonna do it today. And yeah, we just got a lot of fun awards to go through to help celebrate the end of the season, which it's ending. When Saturday, Sunday? When is it over?
Sunday.
Sunday. So by the
Uh,
time,
it's It's actually some kind of weird scheduling by
oh yeah,
NBA. There's no games
mm-hmm.
tomorrow for whatever reason, but then every team plays on Sunday.
Right. So I think just to like, I don't know, one big like grand finale, I guess, for the league. Every
Yeah.
every team is playing, and there's a lot of uh, important games to look out as well that we're not gonna get into, but the Sunday should be a fun day. Learning like who's gonna face who, which team will clinch which seed. I know the Lakers just today clinched the third seed, which is crazy to think about. Like going into
It's
the season, like nobody would have thought third seed for the Lakers would have happened. That was a pretty high seed, but
pretty good.
yeah,
I
not too
mean,
bad.
especially knowing the previous 2 years we were in the play-in tournament, it's definitely a breath of fresh air that we don't have to go through that this time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I'm
And
excited. I'm sure we're gonna have a blast going to like B Dubs to watch some games too, which
that'd be
we
dope
gotta
for
do
sure.
that. Yeah.
Definitely. And then on top of that, also Lakers' first 50-win season since 2019-20, so that's good too.
We are, what is it called? The division, like
Division champs.
the division champs. We are the division champs as
Yeah,
well. Good
that's
first
also
season
really good.
for JJ Redick.
Yes, sir. Really good season. And definitely wishing for the best come playoff time. Should be fun.
Should be fun. And they thought that Darvin Ham wasn't the issue. That's crazy. Obviously, Luka
Yeah,
helps, but still, I think JJ helped a
yeah,
lot with the Lakers this year. Uh,
definitely.
Enough of that, though. We've got some categories to go through, so let's go talk about the first category, which is the circus shot of the year. We have clips for all of these circus shots, and we're gonna go one by one, showing each of the nominees, and then we'll try to decide a winner together. So that should be fun. All right, so our first nominee is this LeBron one-legged three. We got a short clip right here.
Shot clock at 2. Van Vliet watches LeBron hit the 3.
So
Trailed by Smith.
nothing
Shot clock at 2.
too crazy, I guess. I feel like this is still a good nominee, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he apparently repeated that same type of shot like 3 times in the season. So pretty cool to say the least.
Yeah, and I think LaMelo kind of made it his signature shot as well. So I don't know if this will end up being the winner, but it's a good nominee. It's a good nominee. I believe the next one, yes, it's Luka Doncic with an insane one-legged three falling out of bounds. And apparently he stuns his dad. I'm just reading the title, so let's check this one out.
Reed's in front of him. LeBron crosses over. LeBron's in deep. LeBron needs help. He finds Luka.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god. Okay, I prefer that one-legged three over LeBron's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Because first off, he's about to be falling out of bounds. Two, from what I recall, I remember Luka was not having a good game that night. I don't think shooting wise. I think he was like 0 for 8 or like 0 for 9 from 3, and that was his first 3 he made. And man, was it a crazy one.
Yeah,
so that was really cool.
Yeah, Luka is always good for a few like tough trick shots. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that the Luka one is better than LeBron's. No offense to the Pookie, but yeah, so far it's Luka's. We'll see who will win it at the end. But next, it's from the rookie Khalil Ware with his tough layup. Let's check this out.
Here's the problem: they can't put a string of stops together. Miami clicking offensively.
So we crossed the 5-minute mark in the quarter. Here comes Ware.
He loses the ball, finds a way to get it back for the tough, like, scoop layup. In slow-mo now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, that was really cool.
That's like the definition of a circuit shot.
Look at this.
Very impressive.
Let me just throw
Losing balance, catching it back mid-air, finding a way to
Oh,
finish.
beautiful English too.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. So, Luka's got some tough competition. That is for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked about how Luka is always in the running for tough circus shot of the year. So is this next guy, Steph Curry. I'm just gonna show it. Let's enjoy this.
11 seconds left in the half. KD to beat the buzzer with the layup. But it all started with the Okogie rebound.
Right. Steph has the ball, dribbling up the court.
3 seconds.
Behind the back, left-handed floater. So nonchalant by Steph. And look at that reaction. He can't believe it.
I'm an alien. What did I just do? He went behind the back. He went through the Phoenix roster, and he had a right-hand flip that went in.
Yeah, this was a great one. I don't know if he'll win. I don't know what you're thinking right now, but I thought it was great. Really great dribbling behind the back right there. Oh, it's not left-handed, right-handed floater. My bad, but still, crazy floater.
It was a really cool shot for sure. think I gotta give Khalil Ware the edge though.
Khalil Ware? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Maybe even the Luka one-legged out of bounds, honestly.
Yeah. I probably have seen Steph make a crazier shot in game before, so I think that is fair. Now we got one more game winner, or not game winner, circus shot, and this is from LaMelo Ball, who hits an insane off-balance logo 3 with defender all over him. Reading the title once again, let's check it out. Loses the ball, gets it back, dribbles, defender all over him, off balance. That weird shot that he has still gets it in, and of course the announcers for the Hornets is so good.
Yeah, probably top announcers in the league.
Yeah.
When you're hot, you're hot. My goodness.
He was right there. The defender was right there on him, and LaMelo still got it in. And I believe...
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't a close game. I thought it was a much closer game.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. So I'm gonna give my initial thoughts. If we're talking about like level of difficulty, low key maybe Khalil Ware because he lost balance and got it back.
Right.
But if we're talking about my favorite, it might be LaMelo, honestly.
LaMelo? Oh, I'm surprised he didn't go for the Luka one.
That was probably my second favorite, not gonna lie. But the LaMelo one I thought was just so tough because he was damn near half court, locked up, and still found a way to make it.
It's like a shot that only LaMelo can make, you know? Like, he's been doing all that kind of stuff since, like, high school. So, I don't expect anything less from LaMelo. So, for me, it's for sure LaMelo, Luka, and Khalil Ware in the running. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say who had the best circus shot. You guys let us know what you're thinking. What are you more leaning towards? Khalil Ware? The way he loses it, gets it back, and does this tough layup.
I guess if we're talking definition of circus, maybe Khalil Ware, honestly.
But the LaMelo one, that's a tough shot. It's hard to remake that shot, I think, which also helps the like circus shot narrative, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, if you think of circus shot, you could think of like a horse shot, like what type of shot you would do in horse to try to get your opponent a letter. And so a lot of these are definitely very horse-worthy shots, but I feel like the Khalil Ware one is almost like the
harder one.
I wouldn't say 1 in a million, but like it's definitely 1 in very uncommon. So yeah, maybe that one's a little bit more challenging.
You know what? You're kind of convincing me. Like, if I was gonna play a game of horse, I think the one I would like to do the least is the Khalil Ware one. I think that's gonna be the harder one to pull off.
Yeah.
So should we go with him?
Yeah, I think we go with him then.
All right, Khalil Ware is the first winner of our awards show. So shout out to the rookie beating some notable vets. He's within the same category as LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Steph and LaMelo. So shout out to him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All of these guys are seasoned vet superstars, and then we got a up and rising rookie, and he won.
Yeah, so shout out to him. He had a great season as well, like in the running for Rookie of the Year. So shout out. And then the next category, is kind of similar to the circus shot, in a way. It's most fun player of the year. So our nominees are LaMelo Ball, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Edwards, and Stephen Curry. A few of these names were nominated last year as well. I forgot who ended up winning though.
I forgot.
Yeah. maybe Victor. I don't know. I would assume I would be pushing for Victor Wembanyama last year. Uh, but yeah, this was tough. Like Nikola Jokic with this like crazy passes and weird like deep 3-point shots. I know one of like the best like if we had an assist of the year award, maybe that one where Jokic wasn't looking, just threw it behind his back really quickly for I forgot who was cutting, either Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. But it was like a crazy pass that uh it was fun to watch. Even Magic Johnson was like, that looks like something I would have done back in my day. Like it was very Magic like, who is also one of the most entertaining players of all time. So there's Nikola Jokic. We have LaMelo Ball with his like deep threes. His patented like one-legged three is always fun to watch, and he's been so entertaining since like high school. Like this guy just knows how to uh, show off. And then we got Anthony Edwards, Stephen Curry. Edwards more for his dunking, but lately he's been killing it from three. And then Steph, best shooter alive, can make it from anywhere and can make very tough, not only tough threes, but tough layups as well at times. So, I don't know. What is your thought process? Who do you think you're leaning towards?
So honestly, so many good options here, and all of these players are pretty much superstars in the league. Low key though, I'm thinking maybe Melo, simply due to the fact that like he was not healthy for so many years, and then he finally is relatively healthy, and despite his team not being good, he put on a clinic to entertain fans. So honestly, I think I would go with Melo.
That's a really good answer. I feel like, especially like at the beginning of the year, Lamelo was like a highlight reel every game. Back when he was like averaging 30 points per game and like horrible like field goal percentage, but he was just doing whatever for the Hornets. They're like playing fake basketball over there too. They know they're not winning anything, so they just mess around. So that's a really good answer, honestly. I feel like even though Anthony Edwards did have a couple of like dunk of the year nominees, I don't think any of them was as like impressive from like previous seasons. Like it was definitely hard to remember some of the Anthony Edwards highlights from the season. And I guess same with Steph. It's hard to remember all of his highlights as well, which usually you do at the end of the season. And Jokic, I remember the assist. I think that's cool. I remember him. Yeah, I just find him fun to watch in general. But I think I'm gonna go with you. I think LaMelo Ball is the answer because that's all he knows how to do. He knows how to just have fun. So, shout out to him. Shout out to LeVar too. Like if we had a most fun player's dad award, it would be LeVar. He's so funny. Yeah, like he posts on TikTok sometimes, and it's so random. He's like singing like his like Jello song randomly within the TikTok, or he's singing like a LeBron James parody song. Uh, so shout out to the balls. I just thought of something, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. I'll let you know later what I just thought of. But should we move on to the next nominee?
Yeah. I think we are good to move on to the next award.
All right, and that would be most disappointing team of the year. We did not have this category last year, but I feel like seeing how things went for certain teams this year, I think we have a good crop of teams. Would you like to go over the nominees?
Yeah, so obviously most of these teams I listed here, actually, scratch that. All of these teams I listed here were in the playoffs a year ago. And most of them, we expected them to be back in the playoffs. It just wasn't meant to be for one reason or another. That being said, the teams we have as nominees for most disappointing team are the Phoenix Suns, Philadelphia 76ers, Dallas Mavericks, and the New Orleans Pelicans. So, I think that just for like a little bit of context, the Suns obviously last year they made the playoffs as I don't know what it was, 6th seed I think, got swept by the Timberwolves. Disappointing, but at least they got to the playoffs. Sixers, similar thing, made the playoffs, also lost in the first round. Granted, they could have been a higher seed, but because Embiid was injured for so long, they dropped to 7th. Mavs, not much needed to be said, except we all know they had that crazy playoff run last year, made it to the finals, fell short against the Celtics. This season, many factors, obviously, pretty good start. Luka got hurt on Christmas. They traded him. And AD has a great debut, gets injured, comes back, and now they have a chance to make they will probably for sure make the play-in, have a chance to make the playoffs, but unsure. Nonetheless, disappointing drop-off from a finals appearance. And then we have the Pelicans, who are also very injury-prone this season. One of the main reasons why they have the, I believe, second worst record in the West. But that being said, who do you think is the most disappointing team in the league this season, Memo?
I feel like the two that I'm really leaning towards is Suns or Mavs, because I'm giving leeway, if that's the right word, for the Sixers and Pelicans, because their season did get derailed by injuries. So
Many of them.
yeah, a lot of injuries. So that sucked for both teams. The Suns, they were like mostly healthy. Like, I know Kevin Durant was injured. He didn't make the 65 games. But for the most part, like the big three over there, the Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, they were basically playing the whole time. And they just sucked. Like, I think Matt Ishbia did a horrible job running the Suns. Not only like the previous years, but like this year as well. He had like the front office get a bunch of guys that like can't defend. Their upgrade from what's his name? I already forgot his name. Yusuf Nurkic, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, they got who did they get instead from the Hornets?
Nick Richards.
Yeah, he's been ass. It's like you replace ass with ass. Like, what are we doing? They have no depth.
Trash with garbage.
Exactly, it's a mid off out there. Like what are the Suns doing? They paid so much money for this big three just to surround them with like dog shit. It's like that meme of like that. I don't know if you've seen, but that like shitty house and in the driveway is like a Lamborghini. That's the Suns right now. Like it's the three all-star players and then a shit show all over them. So Suns is definitely a nominee. And Mavs, oof, they were in the finals, the NBA finals, when they shouldn't have been. The only reason they got there is basically because of Luka Doncic. And guess what? They traded his chubby ass to the Lakers. And guess what happened to the Lakers? They're in the 3rd seed. So he could be 355 pounds for all I care. He's still balling out there. What are we doing just to get Anthony Davis, who I love, one of my favorite players of all time, one of my favorite Lakers of all time. He ended up being mostly injured for the Mavs. So yeah, this one is tough. I will say at least the Mavs are still in the play-in tournament, right?
Yeah, correct. They are actually tied with the same record as the Kings, but I believe the Kings have the tiebreakers. So that being said, the Mavs are the 10th and the Kings are the 9th at the moment.
Yeah, so I think because of that, I'm gonna go with the Suns with my pick because they really have no excuses. Yeah, Durant was injured, but you had two other All-Stars that were supposed to carry the load, especially Devin Booker, who had a pretty disappointing year after an incredible Olympic run. just didn't seem the same. He was like, he was supposed to be that guy for the Suns, and now like, yeah, it's all derailed. So I'm leaning more towards Suns. What about you?
Um, I absolutely agree 1000%. It's the Suns. Because, like, there were people that were thinking this was going to be a championship contender, and they were not even close. They started the season pretty decent. I don't remember, like, the game threshold it was, but at one point they were, like, I think at least in the top five in the Western Conference for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then second half of the season, you just completely flop. And yeah, it's like what even happened to this team? Um, and then it's like kind of reminiscent a little bit to maybe not to the extreme, but like a little bit reminiscent to like the failed Lakers retirement home team in 21-22 in the sense like massive expectations first, only to flop badly and miss the playoffs. I'd say not to that extreme, but still disappointing for sure. So yeah, I think easily Suns are the most disappointing team from 2024 to 25.
Yeah. Yeah, it gotta be the Suns. So I think what's even worse, they don't have like a first round pick to like 2032 or something like that. It's something crazy like that. They have to wait till the
Yeah.
next decade in order to get a first round pick. That's so embarrassing. Oh my
It is.
god. Okay,
Oh man.
we're gonna stick with the negativity here, and now talk about most disappointing players. Honestly, like I just thought of a few more we could have added, but do you want to read off like the 4 nominees for this category?
Yeah. So the four nominees we have for most disappointing player are Paul George, Bradley Beal, Bam Adebayo, and John Morant.
Yeah, I guess some dishonorable mentions. Mikal Bridges, who's been good, but like you paid 5 first round picks for this guy, uh,
Yeah.
and he's just been good, not amazing. So there's him. When I was ranting about the Suns, Devin Booker's a good one, but Bradley Beal is definitely going to be the Suns representation there. Like his stats are good, it's decent, 17 points, but like he's just vibing at this point. He knows that like he's fleecing the Suns. He's getting paid so much money, and there's nothing they could do to get rid of him. Essentially, he's just gonna get paid. Like he's just doing the bare minimum, and I kind of respect him for that. Um, and we do have Bam here. We have Ja here. Honestly, they haven't been too bad as of late. They started off pretty disappointing though. So to me, we could like skip those two entirely. It's more towards Paul George and Bradley Beal. I'm like leaning towards, but as I just said, Bradley Beal's doing all right. He's averaging like 17. He's just doing his job and making sure the Suns are impoverished for like the next millennium. So shout out to Bradley Beal. I'm going towards Paul George. I know there's injuries revolving around Paul George, so that really set him back this year. But when he was on the court, he was not playing like Paul George, dude. Like he just sucked. He really did, and the entire league were like so shocked that the 76ers got Paul George. The Philly fans were excited. They were expected to be like the 3rd seed, and because of a lot of reasons, not just because of Paul George, a lot of reasons, they're not even going to be in the playoffs this season. So even though there's a lot of reasons why that is the case, definitely Paul George being injured and being ass is a part of the reason.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I have to agree with you. So to start, completely agree. Like Bam Adebayo and John Morant, though disappointing, still relatively good. So I would cross those two guys out. And so the guys we have remaining, Paul George and Bradley Beal, massively disappointing seasons. At the end of the day, though, I think it's hard not to pick Paul George simply due to the fact that he was literally like probably the most sought after big name free agent last offseason. And yes, injuries. Even when he was on the floor, he just didn't look like himself. Um, his highlight of the year was that game winner against the Warriors, or was it even a game winner, or was it just a go ahead shot? I think it was like a go ahead shot, but I just remember when that happened, it was so damn hilarious because Paul George had a bad year and yet he all game on the Warriors. That was awesome.
I didn't even remember that. I thought you were gonna say his highlight of the year was saying that he was gonna stop the podcast in order to get into the playoffs. I thought that was his highlight of
Hey,
the
I mean,
year.
honestly, I should have said that.
Just to miss the
That
playoffs
was
entirely like 2 weeks
a.
later.
I will say that was his highlight of the year in general. The Warriors shot was a highlight of the year in basketball for him. But man, I think that definitely, yeah, easily Paul George is the most disappointing. Bradley Beal, bad, and for his contract, definitely a huge disappointment. But I think at the end of the day, NBA fans expected more from Paul George than Bradley Beal. But that's why Paul George, I think, has to take the cake on this one for most disappointing player of the year.
Yeah, he was literally an all-star last year and just fell off horrendously. Like, it's crazy. The fall off is crazy. But yeah,
I
Paul
honestly
George.
forgot he was All-Star last year.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was a
I think he
all-star.
was,
Yeah.
but I forgot.
Okay, so Paul George, most disappointing player of the year. Next, we got surprising moment of the year. And this basically consists of like either players you don't expect scoring like crazy amount of points or players you don't expect being like total garbage. So, would you like to go over these nominees?
Yes, sir. So we have a total of 5 nominees here. First one is when Peyton Pritchard and Derek White became the first pair of teammates ever. Yep, you hear that right. Not just Celtics history, but ever to have a combined 19 3-pointers, most by a pair of teammates ever in an NBA game. And for
Weren't
some
they?
reason, I forgot to put
Weren't they
down the
also?
exact point code. Go
Weren't
ahead.
weren't they also the first Celtics teammates to both score 40?
40 plus. Yeah, that's correct. So, yeah, that's like 2 milestones in one. 19 combined threes and 2 Celtics teammates to score 40 each. Yep, you heard that right. So not even Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Larry Bird, and Kevin McHale, any of those guys. It was Peyton Pritchard and Derek White out of all people. Crazy. Um, Second nominee is Quentin Grimes' 46-point performance versus the Rockets on March 17th. He also had 13 rebounds and 8 3-pointers. So massively good performance there. And to follow that, we have a few not so good performances. First one is Steph Curry's 2-point performance at Memphis on December 19th, where he was 0 for 7 from the field. Not good. Next candidate actually happened to be Steph again, very recently, this past Sunday, against the Rockets on April 6th. He shot 1 for 10 from the field overall and 1 for 8 from 3. So not good there. But we have a positive one and to finish it off, and this is when De'Aaron Fox scored 60 and 49 points on a back-to-back respectively. He scored 60 points versus the Timberwolves on November 15th, and he scored 49 points versus the Jazz on November 16th. So those would be our 5 nominees for surprising moment of the year. I think it's safe to say there's a lot of really good options we added here. All of these were very shocking. But like I'm not gonna lie, like I think it's almost hard to pick one that's the most shocking.
Yeah.
But I think as hard as it is, I think I would still pick one over the others. Are you leaning towards one way or another, or not really?
I'm leaning towards like two. I'm leaning towards
Okay.
the Celtic boys getting 40 plus points together and 19 threes together. And I'm also leaning towards De'Aaron Fox, who was able to score, what's the total? 109 points in like 24 hours? Something that hasn't been done
Correct.
since Kobe Bean Bryant? That's impressive. That's impressive. Are those the ones you were leaning towards, or were you thinking of a Steph? Were you
Um,
thinking of
I
Quentin
was actually
Grimes?
I was actually thinking the Steph 2 point performance was really crazy because like you don't expect Steph to put up that type of like poor performance,
Yeah,
and yet. But I think what's even more crazy is that he did it again
multiple
by
times, right?
only 3 points. Like it's like damn, you don't think of that from a guy like Steph. And then FYI, the Warriors lost both of these games. But somehow the Rockets game was actually close. The Grizzlies one, I think the Warriors lost by like 50 or 40 or something, so not good in that one.
Didn't recently
But
Steph score like only 4 points in the same day that Bronny scored 4 points as well? Wasn't that going around socials recently?
oh shit, I don't remember that. Damn,
I
he
don't know.
did
I
that?
could be wrong, but yeah, Steph had a few stinkers this year, so that is definitely
Yeah,
surprising.
yeah. But I think like I had to pick what is most shocking. I think I have to go with the Celtics one, Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, simply because of those two milestones. The first two Celtics teammates to score 40 points each, and the first pair of teammates in a game ever in the history of the NBA for a combined 19 3-pointers. I think that is insane coming from two not superstars, but two pretty good starting role players, shall we say. So yeah, I think the Celtics got to take the cake on this one.
And they're both not even starting. Peyton Pritchard was off the bench in that one. So
I forget honestly. Yeah. Oh, true. Sixth man of the year
yeah,
candidate.
so I think I'm gonna agree because like, although what De'Aaron did is very surprising because he did something that like it hasn't been done since Kobe. Um, at least he's an all star, so you kind of expect like these all stars to have games like this once in a while. Quentin Grimes is impressive too, since he's not known for scoring 40, but he did 46 points. But the two role players getting 40 plus in a single game for a storied franchise and them being the first ones to do it is impressive. So we'll go with the Celtics. We'll go with the Celtics. Hopefully, no more Celtics winners from here on out. We'll see. We'll see
I
though.
I agree. Though not like seeing Celtics win anything, but I mean credit where it's due.
Yeah. We're not that biased, but I'm
Yeah,
kind of
we're
biased.
biased, but we are willing to set our bias aside when needed.
Sometimes. So,
Yeah. But anyways, I think there is a lot of bias from the candidates in
mm,
our next award.
perfect
Am I
segue.
not wrong?
No,
Am I
you're
correct?
right. You're right.
Yes, sir. So I guess in that note, we should go over it. So, next award is dumbest takeaway from players, coaches, analysts, you name it. And number one, first candidate is Draymond Green. He claimed that Cat was afraid of playing Jimmy Butler. Yeah, that was a really clown comment for sure. Next comment was when Stephen A. Smith claimed that he would have swung on LeBron if the cameras were not on or some shit like that when LeBron confronted him to stop talking down on Bronny. Um, and the third option is when Drake said that he thought that DeMar DeRozan shouldn't have his number retired for the Raptors. And when he said that if he does, he would go climb up the rafters and take it down. Like, come on, man. And then the next option, Shaq claiming he doesn't watch the Detroit Pistons because they are boring and not contenders. And that was also when he thought that Chauncey Billups was their head coach when Chauncey is the Blazers head coach. And our last option is actually someone that has had multiple instances related to this topic. Here's what it is. It's Charles Barkley hating on the Lakers all year long. Okay. So first off, he says the Lakers are mediocre. He says Luka and LeBron will not. He says that Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham were good coaches and that JJ Redick would not do anything to fix the team. And he also mentioned that he believes that the Lakers do not deserve the amount of coverage from the media or ESPN. And so, yeah, nonetheless, just straight hating, straight denial, and very laughable, here is to say the least. So, on that note, I think we have some very good competition here because there were so many dumb takes. And yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to
honestly,
choose.
at the very moment, I don't know who I would pick. Do you have any idea who you would pick?
I mean, the Lakers fan is me is annoyed by Charles Barkley just disrespecting our Lakers.
Me
And
too.
I kind of get his point where like the Lakers might have too much coverage, because I guess it's not fair for other fans for other teams that don't get to watch their favorite teams on national TV. But they're the Lakers. Like they're like the most famous team in the world, maybe besides the Bulls. Like they're like that famous. They're worldwide. Like of course they're gonna be
Yeah.
shown all the time, um, and not only because they're like super popular, but they're amazing as well. They're not mediocre, as Chuck had put it. So that's a bad take. I mean, the Shaq one, it's definitely not one of his best takes for sure, but I don't think it's bad as Chuck. The Drake one was pretty bad. I remember
That was bad.
ranting
Like,
about that one.
yeah. This is so hard, honestly. Like, I feel like it's almost like a three-way tie between um Charles Barkley, Drake, and the Draymond one. But like, shit. I mean, like,
The Draymond one was pretty bad though. Like he was such
I
an
will say
asshole
this.
for that one because Cat wasn't
I
afraid
think,
of playing against Jimmy Butler. The only reason why he didn't play against the Warriors that specific game was because he went to a friend's funeral. So Draymond got the information wrong and still like wouldn't take accountability for it. So that one was like I'm kind of leaning towards that, but also like Drake is so stupid. Like first he thought
yeah,
he could beat Kendrick in a rap beef. Now he thinks DeMar DeRozan should have his number retired. He's just this petty bitch. Like he honestly is.
oh my gosh, man. Yeah, it's definitely been a rough year for Drake to say the least, in more ways than one. Um, Man, but I think I have to agree with you. Like the Draymond one, due to the condition, I think I have to take the cake because like that was such a clown comment, man. Like you're gonna make up shit thinking that a guy is afraid of playing another player. And then you find out that he really missed it because he was attending a friend's funeral and takes no accountability. Very fake attempted apology. Like, the damage was already done. He didn't even try to make up for it. So, I think for that perspective, I gotta give Draymond Green the edge for this one. But really, all of these are so horrible.
Yeah. So I agree. I think Draymond is
Yeah.
taking the award
And
for dumbest take. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith for being so delusional. I think he could just start swinging on LeBron.
you know, it's crazy. I was gonna say which one I think is the least bad one here. They're all so bad. Do you think maybe Shaq one might be like the least extreme one? I think that's crazy saying. Like,
I don't know. Like,
oh
it's
man,
crazy that his job is to watch basketball and analyze, and he doesn't watch
right?
basketball or analyze. So, I don't know. This was definitely tough
Yeah,
competition, but I think I
I don't
agree
know.
with your original point where it's like a tie between Chuck, Drake, and Draymond Green. I think they all had pretty
Definitely.
bad takes, as
Yeah,
much as the rest had bad takes as well.
yeah. I think to say the least, it was a rough year for the media with dumbass
Oh
takes.
yeah, yeah, it
Per
definitely
usual,
was.
but like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of
Anyhow,
cooked
I
it.
think, yeah, definitely. Anyhow, I think we can move on to the next award being biggest upset of the year. And I think a lot of these usually do have to happen with either a really bad team being a really good team or like a middle of the pack team being a really good team. Or maybe another thing could be like a team had a massive lead and then they choked. That could be a factor. Without further ado, here are the candidates. So, first option is when the Bulls upset the Celtics 117 to 108 on December 19th. And then the next upset is when the Heat upset the Celtics a little bit over a week ago, 124 to 103 in Boston. And then the next upset was actually a pretty crazy one. This is when the Timberwolves upset the Thunder 131 to 128 in OT, and I believe OKC was up by like 24 or something, and then they choked. So yeah, that was a horrible collapse for OKC. Great comeback by the Timberwolves. The next option is Wizards upset Nuggets 126 to 123 in Denver. Yeah, that was embarrassing. And the Nuggets somehow got swept by the Wizards this year. That's never good. So add there. And last candidate, I feel like probably maybe the least crazy one. I just added another one. And it was Suns upset Cavs 123 to 112 on March 21st. So I think that most all of these were definitely either upsets or horrible collapses. But if we had to pick one, hmm, I think that really depends on your definition of upset you're looking for. Cause like you think of upset, you usually think of like horrible team beating great team. But that OKC collapse against Minnesota was so bad. Like I think that just is worthy of joining the discussion for that reason. So if we're trying to stay true to the definition, okay, I will admit I didn't watch any of these games. So it's kind of hard for me to like dissect deeply into most of them. But I did remember like following at least the OKC and Minnesota one. So I know more about what happened in that one. So I guess technically Timberwolves upsetting the Thunder isn't crazy because the Timberwolves are a good team, but the way they collapsed was bad. Um, maybe that game. I don't know. What do you think, Memo?
I was kind of leaning towards the Zards sweeping the Nuggets this year. Like, that shouldn't be
Yeah,
happening. It's the Wizards,
it
one of the
shouldn't be.
worst teams in the league, defeating the Nuggets, who has the best player in the world. That's where
Yeah,
I'm leaning towards. I honestly don't remember like any of these games. Like, my memory is like shot. It's bad. So I'm leaning towards the Wizards.
honestly though, like I don't blame you because like the Wizards are the worst team. You shouldn't be getting swept by them.
Yeah. Are they the
I think the
worst
only
team
reason why.
this year, or is it the Sixers, or maybe the Jazz?
So,
Are they the worst team, like officially? Like
oh, I actually
it
don't remember
might
like
be
the
the
standings.
Jazz, maybe the Sixers. I don't really remember.
I do know that the Wizards have been like winning more lately.
Yeah, it's like
Um. Oh
the
wait.
veteran guys actually helping out the team a bit too.
Oh, I I just looked it up. Wizards and Jazz are actually tied. Both of them are 17 and 64.
For the worst?
So, yeah,
Okay, so yeah, you could say they are the worst team in the league.
they are. Yeah, but it's like, damn. Now that I think about it, maybe that one is the biggest upset because like you shouldn't be getting swept by the Wizards, and then maybe I overlooked it a little bit because Denver is not as good as they usually are. But now that you mention it, I think you convinced me honestly. The Zards over the Nuggets.
The
2-0
Zards.
in the regular season. So embarrassing. Yeah, I think that one has to take the cake.
Yeah, them winning this award is probably their biggest win of the year. Either that or
Yeah,
the wins against the Nuggets.
yeah. Hashtag please don't send Cooper Flag to Washington.
Oh god. Okay,
All right.
next
So
award we got.
next award is worst game of the year.
Yup.
Um and so I will say this year and last year, I think it did it a little bit differently. Last year, I mostly picked like some of the lower scoring snooze fest games. This year, there weren't as many like crazy low scoring games, so I focused more on like blowouts. And so, without further ado, here are the candidates. The first game is Clippers versus Nets on January 15th in LA, when the Clippers beat the Nets 126 to 67, which is a damn near double score. And this also happened to be the biggest blowout of the season. So that was very embarrassing. Second candidate, Celtics 125, Raptors 71. This was December 31st in Boston. Third option, Pacers 162, Wizards 109. This happened in Washington on March 27th, so not too long ago. Fourth option, Blazers 141, Hornets 88. This was on February 22nd in Portland. And the next game is Grizzlies 144, Warriors 93 on December 19th. And this was also the same game when Steph only put up 2 points. So, not good. And then the last option we had to put down was the absolute snooze fest of a NBA All-Star game. Despite trying to change up the format, it was just so bad, so unentertaining. Like, it makes me not even want to watch All-Star Weekend again, low key. Like, it was so bad. But yeah, all of these games were atrocious. I just wanted to point out a random thing that I thought was funny. Last year, literally listed both of the Hornets Blazers matchups as worst game of the year candidates. And look who we have again. Once again, a Blazers Hornets game as a worst game of the year candidate. Except last year it was because both teams scored low. This time it's because it was just a one-sided blowout. Anyways, worst game of the year. I feel like it's hard not to pick the biggest blowout, the Clippers and the Nets. Like, how does that score does not look real? 126 to 67. Oh man, that's embarrassing. Yeah, that All-Star game was atrocious though.
Yeah, I think those
I
are the
think worse
two
than
that I'm thinking of. Either the biggest blowout or the All-Star game. That's what
yeah.
I'm thinking.
I think maybe leaning towards the Nets one. What do you think?
I agree because the All-Star game, like the actual basketball was decent. It was good. It was the like Mr. Beast getting involved, the TNT crew delaying the game, stuff like that, which made it hard to watch. Not the actual basketball, but you know the package. I guess it was like 3 hour show, 40 minutes of basketball. That was the big complaint there. And I should know I did a solo episode on the All-Star weekend, so I definitely went through a lot that weekend. But dude, 126 to 67 in 2025. I had to double check. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I honestly might go with the Clippers here. Clippers Brooklyn. Um,
Yeah.
it's such a huge blowout. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. 67.
Yeah, that is. First off, how do you score 67 points in a game in
Exactly.
2025? That is so bad. Maybe
Get
if it was
'em.
the 60s, 70s, 80s, understandable. Basketball has evolved so much. Like, you have no excuse not to at least score 90, honestly, or like
Get 'em.
85, maybe. Yeah. Like, come on now, 67. That's bad. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I gotta give the icing on the cake there.
Yeah, that makes sense. But we're turning a leaf
Yeah.
here. We just covered the worst game of the year. Now let's talk about the best games of the year. Hoops, would you like to go over the nominees?
Yes, sir. So, first candidate is when the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets 140 to 139 in double overtime, April 1st in Denver. So, April Fool's Day game. Second candidate was Grizzlies over the Suns 151 to 148 in an overtime thriller February 25th in Memphis. Third game is Knicks over the Hawks 149 to 148. It was an overtime thriller February 12th in New York. The fourth game is Pistons 148, Hawks 143, February 23rd in Atlanta. And the last candidate is Pacers over Timberwolves 132-130, an overtime thriller in Minnesota, March 17th, and Obi Toppin hit that game-winning three. So I think a lot of good games here for sure. I mean, like a lot of high scores, a lot of overtime thrillers, you name it. If I had to pick the best one, I think it might be the longest game here, being the double overtime Timberwolves over the Nuggets. I think. Just simply due to the fact that, like, first off, it was a really entertaining battle towards the end. Um, the fact that it went into double overtime, I believe that the Timberwolves were down by like 20 or something, and then they came back and won. That was really impressive. Also, like, I don't know if you saw the end sequence, but like Russ literally sold the game for the Nuggets, man. Um, I believe what happened was I think the Nuggets were up by like three or no, I think they were up by like two, but like he shot a layup instead of like holding it to go to the line. It was bad. And then afterwards, fouled Alexander Walker on a three. So then he makes all three free throws and the Timberwolves won.
Yeah,
So
not only did he shoot the layup though, he missed it. He missed the layup.
yeah,
I was actually
yeah.
gonna say that was gonna be my least favorite game. As a Russ fan,
Least favorite.
I hated that we just saying the amount of like kind of warranted hate that Russ got from that performance because other than that, like it was a great
Yeah,
game. It was a great game. But Russ
it
like
was.
ruined it for the Nuggets at the end, trying to go for that unnecessary layup just to miss it, and then you foul to basically hand the game to the Timberwolves. Like that's like a very
Yeah,
disappointing ending for me. But
it
that's
is.
mostly because of
Imagine.
my like Russ fan bias, and I guess Nuggets
True.
bias. I prefer Nuggets over Timberwolves.
Yeah, to say the least, the Timberwolves owned the Nuggets this season. They
They do.
4-0 swept them.
They do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Timberwolves owned both of the teams they beat in the playoffs last year. They 4-0 swept the Suns and they 4-0 swept the Nuggets. And I think they beat the Mavs in the regular season series, so slight revenge there, even though not as meaningful as playoffs. But yeah, I was gonna make a joke. Imagine that was a game that got Mike Malone fired. It's still crazy.
That
They
might
really
have been.
fired him.
It might have been because a lot of I forgot who said it, but there was a lot of complaints about Malone giving special treatment towards Westbrook instead of like the younger guys.
I heard that. Yeah.
So maybe that game was one of the reasons, but who knows?
Yeah. Nonetheless, though, that was still such a stupid decision. I think easily even more dumb than the Taylor Jenkins firing. Man. Especially 1 week before the playoffs, you couldn't have waited until after the season. Crazy. Anyhow, which one do you think would be your favorite game then, if that one's your least favorite?
Well, Knicks and Hawks are always like a fun matchup with that rivalry going on. But Pacers Timberwolves with that overtime game ending with the top-in game winner might be my favorite.
Oh yeah. That was really good, honestly. I will say, contrary to you being a little bit biased on the Nuggets one because you like them better than the Timberwolves, I guess a little bit biased here because I like the Timberwolves and they lost on a game winner. But nonetheless, though, all bias set aside, that was a really cool shot. Like low key, I almost thought about adding like the Pacers and the Bucks when Tyrese Halliburton scored the 4-point play. But then I thought like, I already added so many games. Maybe I'll put this one instead.
Right.
So honestly, the Pacers and the Timberwolves is a pretty good candidate. So I wouldn't fault you for that one.
We could honestly flip a coin.
Yeah, we can flip.
All right.
Okay. So do you want to say Timberwolves Nuggets is heads and then Pacers Timberwolves is tails maybe?
Sure.
Who makes the call though? That's the only question. Like how do we make this fair?
I'm using the Google one.
Okay.
So like everybody can see
I think
as well.
Okay, I think that's a good way to go. Instead of like one of us calls and the other person doesn't call, and it's like, damn, you won based on you picking. Come on. Our winner depends on the fate of a coin flip.
All right, let me set this up really quickly. All right, here we go. Timberwolves, Nuggets, heads. Pacers, Timberwolves, tails.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to flip it. 3, 2, 1. All right. It's going
the added drama.
The added drama. It's going to the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets in double overtime after that disappointing Russell Westbrook decision making. It was hard being a Russ fan that day.
It was. It's like for Lakers seeding reasons, it was better Denver lost.
Oh, true.
But like
true.
the rest of Russ, as a Russ fan, it's like, man, why did you have to do that?
Yeah.
So like, bittersweet, I guess.
Right. So I guess they'll take it. They'll take it.
Yep, the flip of a coin decided the fate of this one.
Yep.
So, I guess now we can move on to the next award, being Statline of the Year. First one was when Giannis Antetokounmpo put up 35 points, 20 assists, 17 rebounds on 12 for 19 shooting. Second one is when Nikola Jokic put up 61 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 6 threes on 77% true shooting. Third option is when De'Aaron Fox put up the 60 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and 1 block. And final candidate is when Steph Curry put up 52 points, 8 assists, 10 rebounds, 5 steals, and 12 threes. So, nonetheless, a lot of very good options here.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite awards as well. Like, I'm definitely a stats guy. So
Definitely.
I do like this award. It's hard to choose though, honestly. Like last year was so easy.
It is, yeah.
Like Luka Doncic scored 73 points last year. How were we not gonna choose him last year? This year it's tougher. It's tougher. We got like a near 30 20-20 triple double by Giannis. We got a 60-point triple double by Jokic in a loss, but I think he's the third player to ever do that. I think it's either Harden or Russ that did it, or maybe Harden and Will. I don't really remember. I know for sure Harden I forgot the other player though. We had to. Do you remember?
Maybe Will. I don't know.
Will, maybe.
I don't, honestly.
Okay. We had to include the De'Aaron Fox 60-point game, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, because that was like the highest scored game for most of the year until Jokic recently surpassed that. And then the Curry flurry, the 52 points, scored 12 threes. Remember when 12 3-pointers in a game was a record for the longest time by Kobe Bryant? And I forgot who also was tied for that.
It was Kobe and Daniel Marshall.
There you go. So
yeah,
it's crazy. Like Steph has probably scored 12 plus threes multiple times in his career already.
I think so.
So this one's hard to choose.
Yeah.
What are you leaning towards? Are you leaning towards like the high scoring performances? Are you looking at some of these triple doubles? Does the 12 threes from Steph help his chances? What do you think?
This is honestly really hard, because like all of these are so impressive in different ways. Like the Steph 12 threes is absolutely incredible for sure. Then again, it's like, what has this man not done? He will still impress us no matter what. But then at a certain point, it's like we expect him to do it. Giannis, that triple double was very impressive too. The least amount of points, but the most amount of all the other stuff, assists and rebounds. And never mind. I was gonna say almost the only triple double, but that's incorrect because Jokic had one. That being said, I think I might have to go with Jokic. Not only was it the highest scoring one, but he still had a triple double, 6 threes, and the fact that he did it on 77% true shooting, just flat out efficiency, is mighty impressive. I think I gotta go with Joker.
I think I agree. He's known for like the crazy stat lines as well. This is the most points any player has scored in a single game this season. Only the third person to have a 60-point triple double. The only thing that's knocking it down for me is that he lost. But that's kind of typical with these massive Jokic games. If he scores a lot, typically the Nuggets lose. But yeah, 60-point triple double is crazy. So let's give it to the Joker.
Yes, sir. Joker wins the very impressive award, to say the least.
Yup.
Anyways, I think we got a fun one coming up, being Clutch Shot of the Year. And this will also require some clip showing, just like the circus shot one.
Yeah, so we'll show that like right now. Okay, so the first nominee is Trae Young hitting a half-court game winner. Let's watch it.
We'll be getting it in.
Look at this crazy sequence.
Collier. It's deflected by Daniels.
The Great Barrier Thief with the deflection. College Sexton with the game-tying 3. You think it's over? Psych!
Ice Trae says, not so fast. I call game.
Trae Young, Ice Trae with the cold game winner from half court. Look at the team celebrating.
Can you believe that?
D'Angelo Russell likes to use the ice in his veins, but Trae Young has the real ice in his veins.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why he is up there for Clutch Player of the Year. With shots like those, like there's a reason why he's a nominee for sure.
No doubt about it. And yeah, I remember we were talking about this game during our weekly analysis back when this game happened. I was mentioning it was very reminiscent to the OKC versus New Orleans Pelicans game in 21-22 season when Shea hit a tough shot to tie the game, thinking it'd go overtime, and then Devontae Graham hits a half-court shot to call a game. Very reminiscent to that.
Yeah.
But I think this game is just this one is more satisfying because
This is
clean switch to three versus I think Devontae banked it.
Thanks for coming
Dude,
out, everybody.
Man,
Hope you get home. Make sure you bundle
crazy
up.
sequence.
The way he waves at the Utah crowd too after hitting that shot.
Payal. No
A
doubt
true
about
villain.
it.
True villain.
Trae Young,
True
what a
villain
night.
he is.
I want to see.
For all the
Let's
world
see.
like
Trae Young gathers himself. Wow, watch this.
Look at Sexton right here. He looks so funny.
His reaction is so hilarious.
Like,
Sexton looks hilarious in defense.
dude, he does. Shout out to Sexton. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Too bad he plays for Utah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's for
Really?
sure a great nominee. Next one we've got is also a half-court shot, and this is by almost
Oh wow.
okay. This is by the Giddler, Josh Giddey, against our Los Angeles Lakers. Let's look at this.
So I just noticed, I think that they put more than just the final shot here.
You're right. Okay, let's skip a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Alright,
Oh,
I guess
okay. We caught the LeBron fumble for Kobe White
This was
3.
this game. This was some bullshit. That's insane.
It was. Austin Reeves tries to save the day, makes the layup.
We thought he did.
We all thought, the world thought, but just kidding. It's just Giddey from half court. I hate how cool that was. Honestly. That was a cool shot. I got it. Call a spade a spade.
I hate the fact that it was from him, man. Like, if it was from
somewhere in Australia, Sydney, from Melbourne.
yeah, if it was from Kobe White, I would literally be happy for the guy. The fact that it was from Josh Giddey was
This is a
frustrating.
special team.
Josh Giddey with the game winner. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
That's a shot for the ages. That will be replayed when we're all gone.
Is this better than the
Shot to
Trae
win
Young
the game
one?
from half court.
What do you think?
I don't know, honestly.
It's tough to say, I guess.
I mean, it's tough to say. Obviously, my bias will say that the Trae one was better. But, like, honestly, even from a non-biased perspective, maybe the Trae one because how clean he switched it, low-key.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, this, I will say the Giddey one, the fact that it was in front of the home crowd made it more rocking, obviously.
True.
So they're both like very cool and unique in different ways. It's tough though.
It is tough. Next, we've got this Darius Garland game winner against the Pistons.
20 points
This
in the
one
fourth quarter.
was also very impressive to say the least. We'll find out.
Cade makes a game-tying free throw. Shout out to him. Garland got the ball from the logo 3. Ooh, that's clean. Clean.
Honestly, that celebration
It's
may have made
tough.
it even more dope.
Tough.
Like,
It's a ragdoll right now.
I'm not gonna lie, there's something about when players try to look serious and when they're jumping up and down in celebrations that I think makes it look cooler.
Like the
Like,
Derrick
for
Rose
example,
one.
Free throw.
I was gonna say the Derrick Rose one. He pretty much recreated the meme, you know, with the guy roasting his friend
18 in the fourth.
outside. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Look at this. He
Or
shoots
like
from the
when
logo.
Dame
And
called.
nothing but the
Yeah,
bottom. I
that's
feel
another
bad for
one.
the Pistons because they saw this
Yeah.
happen
I just think
just 2
that
nights ago with
it
the
just
Atlanta
like,
Hawks and Trae
seems
Young.
more cool when
And
they
tonight
act
they
serious
did not
instead
play
of
their
jumping
best
up
game.
and down.
And they had players going out.
But man, that's what
with their
Garland
the
did.
bias and then
Not gonna lie, I
fighting through
forgot
it.
about this
Beasley
game
Cade
winner,
got
but
hurt.
at the
They did
moment, this might be
everything
my
they could
favorite.
possibly do
It's
to
not
get
the
themselves
furthest
Actually,
shot,
all
but
the
it's
way
like the
back to a
cleanest.
tie, only to have that happen. I feel bad.
I think so. Honestly.
Now they know they're good enough.
Brotherly
With all their
love.
people, they could be
Yes,
more
sir.
than good enough. Say what you want, Darius Garland. You made the shot.
Yeah, that was great. That was another good one.
That was good. We got a few more candidates.
Yeah.
Starting with Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges is the next one. Let's check it out.
So Bridges will inbound. Chris Murray comes back in.
Against the Trailblazers. They're losing by 2.
Inbounding the ball. It's like, I'm totally not going to get the ball back. Don't worry.
Bridges to inbound.
We shall find out what will happen.
You think Cat would shoot this shot? Psych! Mikal Bridges with the celly. With the celly.
And Snelly was really cool, too.
Dude, it's one of my favorites in the league right now.
Sure. I'm sure the Suns are regretting getting rid of him.
Oh, for sure. Look at him dancing. He's so happy.
Yeah.
And the hang time on that jumper, too. He was up there in the air for a bit.
And the Knicks fans in attendance, and
that was really cool. I forget PJ Tucker's on the Knicks now.
He just had his 1,000th game recently. So shout out to PJ Tucker.
Yes, sir. Shout out to old man PJ.
Mike Bream and Jamal Crawford on the call.
Mikal sells it, gets the hand back, gets the switch he wants.
Look at that hang time. Look at that length.
3 up, 3 down.
That was so cool,
honestly.
33 points and a game winner.
That was a swagger shot.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites of this year for sure.
Yeah.
And Mikal Bridges.
I know you said you like the more serious celebrations, but the hype ones are fun as well.
Mikal, thanks so much for joining us.
Honestly, like, this one was a pretty damn, as you mentioned, a pretty good damn hype celebration.
Yeah, you're right.
So our next shot, Julius Randle. This was towards the beginning of the season.
Let's check it out.
Really, it's about decision making.
Joe Ingles inbounding the ball, tied game. 2 seconds of the fourth quarter.
117 all. Joe Ingles to inbound. Ingles.
Julius Randle.
Over to Randle.
Backs up.
Randle.
It was forward.
Pushes the Suns player. Devin Booker's shocked. And then Randle mocks Booker with the celebration. And of course making that game winner. Fire.
His first signature moment.
That was a pretty cool celebration too, not gonna lie. How he low-key did the do you remember when Ben Simmons was mocking Jared Dudley for airballing the 3 in the playoffs in 2019?
I actually don't remember.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of that.
But that was great. That was just mocking Booker. Yeah, he pushed his teammate, but who cares? Great game winner. A great celebration. We got a replay here.
Great decision by Joe Ingles to wait till Dante.
A slight push, but it's game.
I will say this. Last year we had Julius Randle on one of the most boring players to watch list, but that play was not so boring, shall we say.
Not at all. Shout out to Julius Randle. Might not like your game, but that was a pretty good game winner. And so is this last nominee. It's Harrison.
Which was very recent.
Very recent. We
2
just
days ago.
recently added this to the nominee list. And we felt like we had to add it. Which is Harrison Barnes hitting a game winner against his former team, the Warriors. Let's check it out. So it's a tied game. 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Alright. I love the Spurs jerseys that they got on right now, the city editions. Barnes is being guarded by Jimmy Butler, but it doesn't matter, cause game. It's that easy against the former team.
Yes, sir. Hated on his former team. and playing the spoiler. Obviously, Spurs not in playoff contention, out of the race. But a dip in the standings for the Warriors.
Yeah, so big W for us Lakers fans. So shout out to the Spurs.
Yes, sir. That was very satisfying to watch, to say the least.
Yeah. Another angle right here, kind of in slow-mo. What a shot. Over Jimmy Butler, who's still a really good defender too. So yeah, definitely a very impressive make by Harrison Barnes. Didn't he have like the Player of the Week award like earlier this year too? It's like just randomly.
I think he. Oh, I think he did. Didn't he?
So Harrison Barnes winning in multiple ways this season. Shout out to him.
Yes, sir. Shout out to him indeed.
Yeah, I saw this like unhinged comment where someone was saying that Harrison Barnes is finding another way to cause the Warriors to lose by shooting threes.
That's hilarious because obviously Game 7, 2016 finals.
Exactly.
Harrison Barnes was horrible, man.
Alright, so those are our nominees: Trae Young, Josh Giddey, Darius Garland, Mikal Bridges, and Julius Randle. What are you leaning towards? Because there was a good crop. There was a good crop this year.
Really good crop. Shit, I'm actually really struggling to pick my favorite because those are so good. Low key, maybe I want to say maybe I will say this. I really liked the way that Mikal Bridges was like falling off balance and floating and put so much arc on that. But maybe the Darius Garland one, low key. That was really cool too.
I think you named my two favorites, the Mikal Bridges and Darius Garland. Darius Garland hitting a far shot, not the furthest one out of this group, but you know, it was on the logo, and it was a clean swish. You know, he didn't like just fling it either. He was shooting and running at the same time, basically. Still had a decent form. Mikal Bridges, though, like, I don't know, I just really like that one. With the hang time as well, like just in the air for a while with that jumper. And the Selly's cool. I also like the Julius Randle one just because he was mocking Devin Booker. But I think ultimately I'll lean towards Darius Garland. What about you?
Yeah, I think I lean towards Garland also just because like way he runs up and stops to make that shot was really cool. And then to say his celebration was also really cold. I like that a lot too. So I think I will give Darius Garland the edge on this one.
All right, shout out to Darius Garland for winning Game Winner of the Year. Next award, it's going to be fun as well. It's the Dunk of the Year. We have a few nominees. We have a few clips. So we'll watch that together right now. Okay, so the first dunk that we are going to watch is Giannis Antetokounmpo posterizing Nikola Vucevic. Chicago almost lost the ball. They finally did. And then Giannis, boom!
Ooh,
big on big action. What a poster.
I love the stare down celebration after. Good thing he didn't look in Vucevic's face, because that would have been a soft-ass tech by the refs for sure.
Yeah.
Tonight's Potawatomi Casino Hotel payoff play of the game.
Gucci, baby, what are you doing? Get out the way! And then he falls on the floor. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love when Giannis does that face after like a big play.
He's so tough.
Yeah.
Middleton's been around Giannis for
So
11, 12 years
this
now,
was
longer,
before the
still
trade deadline, since
amazed.
Chris Middleton is on the bench.
Right. So that's definitely one of my favorites of the year.
That was good.
For sure, a contender. The next one, we've got Christian Brown dunking on Rudy Gobert. This one's also good. Let's check it out.
Minnesota has 6 turnovers here in the fourth quarter. Christian Brown goes right
Dunks on the former DPOY. They get so mad.
And then got
puts his arm around her shoulder. Westbrook now gets ahead.
I think that Gobert's reaction makes this more hilarious.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like, dude, you got dunked on, but like, why you gotta take it so personal? Maybe get the block or something.
I think because Christian Brown, as you can see right here, not only does he dunk on Gobert, after Gobert played pretty good defense, I thought they were going to show it. Let's see. Oh yeah, it just goes towards Gobert. Just bodying him up, sizing him up. And that's where Gobert gets pissed and almost starts a huge fight.
Throw a taunting technical at Brown.
His reaction to Gobert yanking him was hilarious.
Yeah, he got mad too. Everybody was mad.
It's going to be a taunting technical. I don't think there's a doubt. Because what he does is go into his chest after the dunk. This is appropriate.
Oh, that's a,
on him, young sir.
yeah, that's
But
great.
that right there, that
Bro,
could be
Gobert had him at the neck.
Not perceived. That is taunting, and you should taunt.
It's almost like Gobert tried to do him what Draymond did to
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
what Draymond did to him.
It's like Gobert was trying to do like a WWE clothesline on Brown.
Officials look at that too. Did anybody come in?
Bro, the shot of them running towards the situation and the camera like falling is crazy.
The way the bench stopped when he got confronted, they were celebrating and then they're like, what the hell is going on?
It's definitely safe to say. Oh, actually, Tony Gobert. Is that what he said?
Subsequently followed up by Gobert illegally contacting him during the dead ball. We have double technical fouls. There'll be no free throw shot. 5-13 and 24. Let's continue on.
I guess a double tech.
I like that. This game has been so hard fought. And clearly,
all right.
FYI,
both had something to do with
this was another crazy ending between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets.
Yeah, a crazy game, I guess, in general, for sure. So yeah, Giannis is having some tough competition with Christian Brown being there as well. But the next guy over here, Jalen Green, dunks all over Cade Cunningham, and they're kind of like rivals. So this was kind of a big deal. Let's watch it.
Yeah. Point lead is their biggest since they were up by 9 very
Cade has the
early
ball after getting it inbounded. This is half court. I believe that's Ahmed Thompson with the steal. Passes it to Jalen Green. Oh my god! What a poster! He went up. Houston, we've got a problem. This rocket went up to space and came down to earth, slamming all over Cade Cunningham. God damn.
I'm okay. Everybody's okay with the win.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was also an insane play for sure. And then of course, refs trying to ruin it by giving a technical.
Yeah, that always sucks.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The announcers are still in awe too. They're still giggling
that was
about
one of those
this.
moments right there. His first points of the second half. Wow.
Do they even show?
Yeah, I just saw that.
I don't even think they. Oh, they do.
Around here. Arena. Let's just call this the facial.
The facial.
Yeah, he did. He screamed at Cade, and Cade got it down his head. Take one for the team. But
Tari Eason, he's like, what the hell was that, man?
You got picked one pick over me.
I guess maybe a slight knock is that Cade ended up like getting out of the way midair, but still, that was a poster. That was still a poster. That should count.
It was still very impressive to say the least.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that one was good. And we got a few more candidates.
Yeah, we got a fan favorite, Anthony Edwards. He's always going to be in the mix, and this time he dunks over Anthony Black.
Is he going to get free shoes now? I mean, like...
Anthony on Anthony.
I'm saying Leo.
Anthony on Anthony, you're right.
I should
Edwards just past half court. Passes to Nas Reed, gets a screen from Nas Reed.
Just electrified the crowd.
That was good.
That was good, bro.
Everybody in this arena is standing up
This
right now.
The arena's going crazy.
Random shift, but I love the design of that Magic court and like the basketball net in the paint.
Yeah, that goes
So
hard. Like this dunk on Black, dude. He almost fell.
I tell you what, there's a.
I'm surprised they didn't give him a tech for that one.
Yeah, at this point the refs are giving techs to everybody.
Rare W ref for that one.
Yeah, that's a rare one for sure. Now we've got one last dunk to show, and this is Shaden Sharp. I forgot who he dunked over, but you know it's a wizard, so it's probably an irrelevant player. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Simons drifts to the baseline, took a hard hit. And I'm not sure what they were looking
Ooh, what a
at.
steal from Shaden!
Oh, it was over Jordan. No, above Carrington, I think.
Above Carrington, bro.
Wherever number 9 is.
Shaden Sharp went
The smoke
up.
hasn't cleared from the gym yet. He may get another one.
Oh, that would have been
crazy. That would have been dope to try another one.
Off the bounce, you usually don't have the ability to.
That would have been hilarious if it was a high bouncer dunk.
Dude, the way he went up, the leg goes up high to basically up by the rim, bro.
I was
really,
wrong. It wasn't Bud Carrington.
Who was it?
It was Champagny. Julian Champagny, I think.
It's a wizard. Nobody
cares. When a guy gets to his launching pad, and this is one guy you don't want to do.
Dude,
oh my God.
That's nasty. The way he gets up there, the way that he's
lie. This is tough. I think it low key might be for me. Might be between Ant and Jaden, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm still debating in my head who were the nominees again. Okay, Shaden Sharp, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Green, Christian Brown, Giannis. There's a lot of good ones
They were
here.
all really good.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out the people who came up with the nominations. They did really good. But
I think the sequence was most hilarious for Christian Brown one.
Yeah, I think the sequence is what makes it cool, but at the same time, I don't think it's the best dunk.
I agree.
So that we could eliminate that one. Giannis was good. You know, he made Vucevic fall, so that's always a plus.
Yeah. True. And then we mentioned how Cade Cunningham kind of stepped out of the way, so maybe take down the Jalen Green one for that reason.
All right. I just like how they're like kind of like enemies, and Jalen Green went up, but no, you're right.
The 3 finalists are all really good. Yeah.
We got Anthony. We got that crazy Shaden Sharp, not caring for his well-being, just going up there with that hard fall towards the end while getting that poster.
The fan in me really wants to pick Ant, not gonna lie. Though the Shaden Sharp one was also very crazy, insane. And so was Giannis, but I think it might be between Ant and Shaden Sharp, maybe, for me.
I was honestly thinking Giannis or Shaden Sharp.
I mean, both of us said Shaden Sharp, but one or the other said Giannis or Ant, so should we pick Shaden?
I think we should pick Shaden. I think that makes the most sense. So Shaden Sharp wins Dunk of the Year. Shout out to him. There's not a lot of
Very
wins
cool.
over there in Portland, so at least they got this one.
Yep, true that. Anyways, that was exciting. Next one, probably not as exciting, being loser of the year. Our options are Stephen A. Smith, Draymond Green, John Morant, and Nico Harrison.
Yeah. So Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith is definitely here due to what happened with LeBron. Due to their conversation about Bronny during, I believe, the end of a Lakers game. Stephen A. Smith wouldn't shut up about it. He went on like a whole media tour, wouldn't stop talking for weeks and weeks and weeks about the situation. How like LeBron should have talked to him in private. How if LeBron touched him, he would have swung. Stuff like that. A lot of loser behavior. Honestly, like it seemed like LeBron was living in his head rent free. So that's why Stephen A. Smith is a nominee. Draymond Green, I kind of already mentioned the biggest reason why. It's because of him saying that Cat is afraid of playing Jimmy Butler. That's why he didn't play against the Warriors. I forgot how many weeks ago, but in the past, even though Karl Anthony Towns has played against Jimmy Butler many times before that game, even scored like 40 points against the Heat this year with Jimmy Butler playing. Yeah. So not only was Draymond wrong about that narrative, but the reason why Cat didn't play was because he was at a friend's funeral. And when Draymond found out about that, he was very defensive, defending his show, and did not apologize at all, or did not give a sincere apology at that. So Draymond Green is definitely a nominee. And I believe he won Loser of the Year last year. So he's been a consistent loser over the years. Probably the king of losers, some might say, but we'll see if he wins this year. Next, I have John Morant. I just needed another nominee. He's not like the biggest loser here, I'll say that. But I think how he's been acting as of late is very childish, with his, I guess, for a lack of better words, altercation with Buddy Hield. How Buddy Hield did like pretend finger guns towards Ja, and then Ja doing it right back towards Buddy Hield and the Warriors. I was gonna let that slide because the NBA talked to both Buddy Hield and John Morant and gave them both warnings. I thought it was weird that John Morant did that towards the Warriors bench, and it wasn't like a celebration at all. He was just mad, I guess. So I thought that was weird, but I was gonna let it go. And then like a few days later, he did the gun celly again, got fined, and then now his whole thing is throwing grenades in the crowd. He would pretend to like pull the thing out of the grenade and throw it to the crowd. Honestly, it's kind of a hard celly, not gonna lie, but like, you have a reputation with weapons, with guns more specifically, and you're purposely like doing all these weapon celebrations for what? For what? Like, you're a professional. You're supposed to be a professional athlete. At some point, you're gonna need to grow up and just do what you need to do. I know it might not seem fair that like Mikal Bridges can do the gun celebration, but he didn't live stream himself with actual guns in like a strip club. This is the reputation you made for yourself. So things are gonna be different specifically towards you because of how you act. So at some point you gotta man up, grow up, and just stop with the antics. Instead of focusing on which weapon Selly he should do next, he should be trying to help the team win You know, their coach just got fired. This is like one of his worst seasons yet. Like he's focused on the wrong thing at the moment. So yeah, he's far from the biggest loser. I just needed another nominee, but I think this is kind of pathetic, especially since like didn't John Morant live in the suburbs? Like
yeah,
this isn't even like like your true self. You're acting like Drake. Drake grew up as a child star, started acting like a gang member once he became a rapper. Very inauthentic. And John Moran is doing the same thing. He grew up in a nice household, got to play basketball his whole life, is making money playing basketball. All he has to do is just be a good citizen, and he's trying to pretend to be something that he isn't. So because of the inauthenticity as well, like if it was Karan Butler doing this, I wouldn't mind. His family was around gangs and stuff like that. Like it makes sense if he does something like that. John Moran was in the suburbs. You're being fake. I think that's lame as hell as well. So again, not the biggest loser, but I thought it made sense to put him in here. And then lastly, Nico Harrison, just giving away their star player, top 3 player in the league for like the past 5 years. He was going to stay there forever. Luka was going to stay there for his entire career. It was obvious, especially if you saw the Lakers at Dallas game this week. He was crying during his video tribute because he loved the city. He loved Dallas. He loved the Mavericks for some reason. And they just gave him away for an aging AD and like a bag of chips. I don't even remember at this point. Dude, like Nico Harrison is so fucking stupid giving away Luka Doncic. The Lakers are in the 3rd seed. This was not going to happen with AD in our team. It simply was not going to happen. But
it wasn't.
Nico saved our season. So I don't know about you, but I feel like there is an obvious pick for loser of the year.
Yeah, it is so obvious. The fact that you gave up probably the 3rd best player in the league, arguably the best player in the league, depending on the situation. Maybe not this season, but like that's why I said arguably. So yeah, that was a really dumb decision to say the very absolute least. And so yeah, I think Nico Harrison easily wins this award.
Yeah, definitely. Like fire Nico. Like actually, don't fire Nico. Have him trade Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis for who do we have? Who can we give away? Should we
Alex Len?
I think Alex Len got cut though.
I think he's still on the team actually.
What?
Cam Reddish got cut.
Okay, let's get rid of Alex Len for AD and Kyrie Irving. Nico would do it.
Yeah.
Shout out Nico, but you're also the biggest loser of the year for sure. Like it's not even a competition. But let's turn things around. We're done with the negativity. You know, I love to hate, but sometimes we gotta love, and I do love the following winners. So these 4 nominees are in the running for winners of the year. And the first nominee is the Oklahoma City Thunder for having the best record this season. We also got Vince Carter, who was inducted in the Hall of Fame and got his jersey retired for both the Nets and Raptors. And the Raptors kind of theming this year around Vince Carter and his era of the Raptors with those purple jerseys, the cool court design. It was basically Vinsanity over there in Toronto. We also got LeBron. Huh?
Yeah. I was saying the Raptor dunking, like the court design logo for the city jerseys,
So
as you
clean.
mentioned.
Classic.
So
Absolute
clean, yeah.
classic. Next nominee, we got LeBron and Bronny for being the first father and son to play in the NBA at the same time and on the same team, which is a little cherry on top. So that was cool to see. That storyline was fun. And then the Lakers for fleecing the Mavericks and getting Luka Doncic. This probably the most lopsided trade of all time. Probably the worst trade of all time. If you're anybody except for a Lakers fan, like this probably ruined a lot of NBA fans' hearts. But for me, for hoops, for all of us Lakers fans, this was amazing. So, what are you thinking about? Uh, who deserves winner of the year in your opinion?
I would say honestly between Vince and the Lakers. Low key, I think Lakers because we literally got our guy of the future for post LeBron. Because like before that, AD probably would have been the guy, but then it's like how confident are you in him to one stay healthy, two lead a whole group a number one option, and so forth. Meanwhile, Luka, he literally carried a team on his back last season and to the finals. And that man, Nico Harrison, had the nerves to say they traded him because they want to focus on defense and so forth. Yeah, okay. I think the Lakers really were very big winners this year. Maybe that I give them number one because like LeBron and Bronny really cool. They're on the same team, but I guess maybe the Lakers one is a little bit more for sure because the future is set. OKC, best record in the league this year, but still didn't win no championship yet. So, like, at the moment, the regular season record is just a regular season accomplishment. Vince Carter getting the two jerseys retired by two franchises is really cool, though. So, that's why I gave him a massive consideration here. I think the Lakers, though, fleecing the Mavs, getting the guy of their future, I think I might have to give it to them, honestly.
Yeah, like this was a great year to be a Lakers fan, honestly. We might not win the chip, but we will soon with Luka, so I agree. It should be the Lakers. The Lakers are the winners of the year, and we finally made it to the final award, Best Player of the Year. Hoops, would you like to go over the nominees?
Yes, sir. So the best player of the year nominees, we have Nikola Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jason Tatum. So, obviously, all of these very impressive. I believe this was pretty much our prediction for All NBA first team.
Yeah,
and
right.
that being said, yep, who is the best player of the year? I mean, I think it has to be the best player in the league, being Nikola Jokic. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will probably win MVP due to his team being the first seed, but Nikola Jokic is easily still the best player overall in the league.
Yeah, I agree. This is no MVP award, no narratives involved, no nothing. It's just who is the best ball player in the world, and it's Jokic with ease.
Easily.
Like this is his best season in his career, and he's not winning MVP, which is still shocking. He's averaging a 30-point triple double. Like it's official. He's the first center to average a triple double in a season. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, Oscar Robertson's done it before. Russell Westbrook has done it 4 times, but Jokic is the first center to ever do it. So, yeah, it's easily Jokic as the best player of the year. Yeah, maybe he doesn't play defense, but like, who else is averaging a triple double this year? You know,
easily.
So I guess that's it. That's all of our awards. This was a lengthy episode. We kind of knew going into this that it was going to be a long one. But I had a lot of fun, honestly, looking at all of the clips, just having fun, joking around about some of these awards. I love hating, so being able to hate on certain players or teams or whatever. It was really fun. And yeah, anything you want to say? Yeah, how did you enjoy this award show?
It was fun for sure. Sharing our thoughts and our predictions on who would win the awards last week, and then this week making our own version of the game show was definitely fun. Because like NBA actual awards have pretty generic awards out there, but we made it more interesting by bringing it a notch up. So yeah, it was fun, especially viewing those video clips of the circus shot game winners and dunk of the years. That was also fun. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. It was a long one, but it was a good one.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll incorporate more of those with like an assist of the year award, crossover of the year award. We'll see. I just thought about that recently. I wish I thought about it earlier because this episode specifically takes like a lot of research in our part. Like we have to like genuinely work throughout the week to get this done, but it was all worth it. I think I had a lot of fun recording. One of my favorite episodes to record this year for sure.
Definitely agreed on that one. It was a fun episode to record, and the research was long, but it was worth it.
Yep. So, I guess we'll end it here. We've been recording for around 2 hours, so I think this is a good time to end it. So, if you guys like this episode, make sure you like it. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment as well. Subscribe if you haven't. That'd be great. If you are on an audio platform like Apple Music, Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Check out our socials because I be posting sometimes. I think I posted a TikTok recently. Oh, I posted about the Mike Malone firing. Did we even talk about that recently or on stream?
We didn't. We didn't, but that's because it was so recent this week.
Yeah, you're right.
We briefly talked about it earlier when I made a joke about like the did Russ cost his job in the Timberwolves.
Yeah, but
that's about it.
That was pretty shocking. So if you want my initial reaction, like literally like less than an hour of hearing the news, you could check that out on TikTok or Shorts. But yeah, anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, I just want to say, per usual, thanks to all the viewers for the constant support and to our channel. We wouldn't be where we are today without you guys. If you guys like our content, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow us on all platforms. And you do not want to miss our upcoming content because it's about to be play in and then playoff time. So it will be fun.
That's for sure. So make sure you're subscribed, stay tuned, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.